I saw the email subject, your employment termination. My breath hitched. After 29 years, 3 months, and 4 days at Sterling Dynamics, that was it. Could you believe it? The rain was coming down in sheets, blurring the neon city lights outside my apartment window. I'd just poured myself a glass of wine, thinking about that early retirement brochure I picked up last week. 30 years. That was the magic number. The pension, the health care, the freedom. Gone. Poof. Like a poorly executed magic trick. I swirled the wine, the ruby liquid mocking my shattered dreams. 3 days, 3 measly days stood between me and a secure future. 3 days between me and total annihilation. My phone buzzed. It was a text from my daughter, Chloe. Mom, you okay? You seemed weird on our video call. Weird? I was about to be homeless. Or, drastically downsizing to a studio apartment above a laundromat. Fine, honey, I texted back. Just tired. I wasn't about to unload this on her. Not yet. The colder, somehow. My boss, Mr. Henderson, avoided eye contact. I tried to catch him in the hallway, but he practically sprinted past me, muttering something about a conference call. A conference call? He never had conference calls. I had conference calls. I ran the damn department. What was going on? Then it happened. At precisely 11:14 a.m., Mr. Henderson's assistant, a painfully perky young woman named Tiffany, summoned me to his office. Tiffany practically vibrated with fake sympathy. He's ready for you, Emma. Ready for me? Like I was about to be served up for lunch? Mr. Henderson didn't even look up when I walked in. He was staring at a tablet on his desk, his face illuminated by its cold blue light. Emma, please sit down. His voice was flat, devoid of emotion. What's this about, Henderson? I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. My heart was pounding in my chest, a frantic drum solo against my ribs. We've decided to restructure the department, Emma, and your position is being eliminated. Restructure? Eliminated? Those were just corporate buzzwords for, we're screwing you over. I felt a surge of anger, hot and sharp. Eliminated after 29 years? You're firing me? 3 days before my pension vests? He cleared his throat, avoiding my gaze again. It's unfortunate timing, Emma. But these decisions are never easy. Unfortunate timing. He had to be kidding me. Could he possibly be serious? I stood up, my hands clenched into fists. Unfortunate? Henderson, I've given this company almost 30 years of my life. I've missed birthdays, anniversaries, Christmases. I've bled for this place. And this is how you repay me? By kicking me to the curb 3 days before I can retire? He sighed dramatically. There's nothing I can do, Emma. It's out of my hands. Out of his hands? I didn't believe him for a second. As I walked out of his office, I felt numb. 29 years, gone. Just like that. I cleared out my desk, the emptiness mirroring the hollowness inside me. My colleagues offered awkward condolences, their eyes filled with pity and fear. They knew what this meant. If they could do this to me, they could do it to anyone. I packed up my family photos, my coffee mug, the little succulent I'd been nursing back to health. It all felt so pointless, so unfair. Back in my apartment, the rain was still falling. I threw myself onto the couch, the weight of despair pressing down on me. What was I going to do? I had bills to pay, a mortgage, a daughter to support. My retirement savings wouldn't last forever, especially not without the pension. I looked at my phone. It felt heavy in my hand, a symbol of everything I was losing. Then an idea sparked in my mind, a tiny flicker of hope in the darkness. I had spent 29 years building a network. I knew this company inside and out. I knew where the skeletons were buried. I remembered a conversation I overheard a few months ago, Henderson talking on the phone, his voice low and secretive, something about offshore accounts and avoiding taxes. My ears perked up. That wasn't right. I could feel it in my gut. I had to find out more. I scrolled through my contacts, stopping at a name. David Miller. David had been my colleague for years, a whiz with computers. He'd left Sterling Dynamics a few years ago to start his own cybersecurity firm. He was the only person I trusted with something like this. Taking a deep breath, I dialed his number. David, it's Emma Carter, from Sterling Dynamics. Emma, wow, long time no see, what's up? He sounded genuinely surprised to hear from me. I need your help, David, and I need it to be completely confidential. I paused, my voice trembling slightly. I think Sterling Dynamics is involved in something illegal. There was a moment of silence on the other end of the line. Then David's voice, serious now? Tell me everything, He listened patiently, asking clarifying questions. When I was finished, he said, Okay, Emma, I'll see what I can do, but this could be risky. Are you sure you want to go down this road? Risky? What did I have to lose? I was already at rock bottom. I'm sure, David. They took everything from me. I'm not going to let them get away with it. David agreed to meet me at a cafe with free Wi-Fi and glass walls. I spent the rest of the day pacing my apartment, my anxiety building with each passing hour. What if David couldn't find anything? What if I was wrong? What if Henderson found out what I was doing? Sleepless nights were commonplace in the last few years. This was one more to add to the list. The following morning, I woke up feeling exhausted and apprehensive. I showered, dressed, and headed to the coffee shop, my stomach churning with nerves. David was already there when I arrived, sitting at a table in the corner, a laptop open in front of him. He looked up as I approached, a grim expression on his face. Emma, he said, gesturing to the chair opposite him. I found something. My heart leaped into my throat. What is it? He hesitated for a moment, then swiveled the laptop around so I could see the screen. I managed to access some encrypted files on Henderson's computer. It wasn't easy, but I got in. These files appear to document a series of shell corporations and offshore accounts. It looks like they've been funneling money out of Sterling Dynamics for years, avoiding millions in taxes. I stared at the screen, my mind reeling. This was bigger than I could have imagined. This wasn't just about my pension, it was about corporate fraud on a massive scale. Are you sure about this, David? Positive. I've seen this kind of thing before. It's a classic scheme, but here's the kicker, he continued, his voice dropping to a whisper. Some of these transactions appear to be linked to illegal activities. Illegal activities? What kind of illegal activities? My mind raced, trying to process what he was saying. Drugs, money laundering, something even worse? What do you mean, illegal activities? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. David leaned closer. I can't say for sure, Emma, but the amounts involved are significant, and the destinations of some of these transfers are highly suspicious. I felt a chill run down my spine. This was getting dangerous. I was in way over my head. What should I do, David? He looked at me intently. You have a choice, Emma. You can expose this, go to the authorities, and bring them all down. Or you can use this information to negotiate a settlement with Sterling Dynamics. They'll probably be willing to pay you a lot of money to keep you quiet. A settlement? The thought was tempting. I could get my pension, my financial security back. I could walk away from all of this and start a new life. But could I live with myself if I let them get away with it? If I allowed them to continue their illegal activities, hurting innocent people? The dilemma was tearing me apart. Revenge or justice? Which path should I choose? I didn't know what to do. I needed time to think. I need some time to consider my options, David. This is all happening so fast. Of course, Emma, just be careful. This could get ugly. He handed me a USB drive containing the files he had found. Keep this safe. And don't tell anyone about this, not even your daughter. I nodded, taking the USB drive. I stuffed it into my purse, my hands trembling. Thank you, David. You're a lifesaver. As I left the coffee shop, the sun seemed to mock me. I felt like I was walking a tightrope, one wrong step away from falling into the abyss. I walked for hours, lost in thought. The weight of the decision was crushing me. That evening, I decided to confide in Chloe. I needed to tell someone, and she was the only person I trusted completely. We met at a trendy restaurant downtown, the kind with AR social media filters projected onto the walls. Chloe, ever the influencer, was thrilled to see them. I, on the other hand, was a nervous wreck. "Mom, you seem really stressed. What's going on?" she asked, her brow furrowed with concern. I took a deep breath and told her everything about the firing, the pension, David, and the illegal activities. Her eyes widened with shock as I spoke. "Mom, this is insane. You have to go to the authorities," she said. "I don't know, Chloe. I'm scared. What if they come after me? What if they try to silence me?" "Mom, you can't let them get away with this. You have to do what's right." She reached across the table and took my hand. "I'll be with you every step of the way." Her words gave me strength. Maybe she was right. Maybe I couldn't back down now. But I still had doubts. Could I really take on a powerful corporation and win? When I returned home, I felt a little better. I thought, at least I wasn't alone. Chloe was right. I could make the right choice. Later that night, my phone buzzed. An anonymous message appeared on my screen. "We know what you're up to. Back off, or you'll regret it." My blood ran cold. They knew. They were watching me. I was in danger. But how could they have found out? Had David betrayed me? Had Chloe said something to someone? Or was I just overthinking the situation? I really had no idea at this point. The bar. Inside was a single photograph. A picture of Chloe, walking down the street. The message was clear. They knew who my loved ones were. They weren't afraid to use them against me. I panicked. I couldn't put Chloe in danger. I had to protect her, even if it meant sacrificing my own justice. I decided to call Henderson. I was going to negotiate a settlement. I didn't have a choice. Henderson agreed to meet me at a secluded bar on the outskirts of town. The place felt seedy and dangerous, a far cry from the polished corporate offices I was used to. Henderson was already there when I arrived, sitting at a table in the back, his face obscured by the dim lighting. "Emma," he said, his voice low and menacing, "I'm glad you decided to come to your senses." "I want my pension, Henderson," I said, my voice trembling slightly. "And I want it now," he smiled, a cruel, predatory smile. "Of course, Emma, we can arrange that. But there's one condition." "What condition?" "You have to sign a non-disclosure agreement. You can never speak about what you know, not to anyone." I hesitated. This was it, the moment of truth. If I signed that agreement, I would be silencing myself forever. I would be letting them get away with their crimes. But if I didn't, Chloe could be in danger. "I need time to think about it," I said. Henderson's smile vanished. "You don't have time, Emma. This is your last chance." My phone buzzed again. Another anonymous message. This time, it was a picture of Chloe's apartment building. The message read, "TikTok." I made my decision. "Okay, Henderson, I'll sign your agreement. But I want the money in my account by tomorrow morning." He nodded, a look of satisfaction on his face. "It's done, Emma. You won't regret this." I signed the agreement, my hand shaking. As I walked out of the bar, I felt like I was selling my soul. I had betrayed my own principles, sacrificed justice for my daughter's safety. Could I ever forgive myself? I felt a sense of relief, but also a deep sense of shame. I had sold out. I decided to leave town. I packed my bags, said goodbye to Chloe, and drove away, leaving everything behind. I started a new life in a small coastal town, far away from Sterling Dynamics and their dirty secrets. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I had made the wrong choice. I spent months battling with my conscience. Had I done the right thing by protecting Chloe? Or had I been a coward? One day, I received a letter in the mail. It was from David. He wrote that he had gone to the authorities with the evidence I had given him. Sterling Dynamics was under investigation. Henderson and several other executives had been arrested. I felt a surge of hope. Maybe it wasn't too late. Maybe justice would be served, even without my help. But what of my silence? I could expose them all if I chose. They'd violated our agreement, and I was in the clear. I was free to speak again. It was tempting. It was time to decide. I thought about all the people who had been hurt by Sterling Dynamics' greed and corruption. I thought about my own lost pension, my shattered dreams. And I thought about Chloe and the sacrifices I had made to protect her. But after some soul-searching, I was ready to fight again. I made one more call. "David," I asked, "I'm ready to talk. You know, they say the truth will set you free." And it did. My testimony helped put Henderson and his cronies behind bars. The company was forced to pay back all the stolen money, and justice prevailed, and so did I. It was a long and difficult journey, but in the end, I learned that sometimes the greatest victory is standing up for what you believe in, even when it's scary, even when it means risking everything. But it wasn't easy. In the end, what would you have chosen? Would you have taken the money and run? Or would you have fought for what was right? Write what you'd choose. Like and subscribe for more true stories. I took a deep breath after my testimony, the fluorescent lights of the courthouse buzzing overhead. It felt like a weight had lifted, a darkness. The air outside was crisp and clean, a welcome change from the stale, recycled air inside. I walked toward the park across the street, the leaves crunching beneath my feet. Autumn in 2025, and I was free, truly free. But freedom came at a price. My reputation was tarnished, my name forever linked to the Sterling Dynamics scandal. Would anyone ever trust me again? Could I ever truly escape the shadow of my past? Chloe met me at the park, her face etched with worry. "Mom, are you okay? You look exhausted." I managed a weak smile. "I'm fine, honey, just tired. It's all over now." She hugged me tightly. "I'm so proud of you, Mom. You did the right thing." Her words meant the world to me. Knowing that she supported me, that she understood my choices, made all the difference. But the fallout from the trial was far-reaching. My phone buzzed. It was a text from my mother. We hadn't spoken in years, not since a bitter argument about my father's will. What did she want now? I hesitated, then opened the message. "Emma, I saw you on the news. Call me." My heart sank. My mother had always been a difficult woman, judgmental and unforgiving. What could I possibly say to her? What good could come of this? I didn't want to reopen old wounds, to relive the pain of our past. But I knew I couldn't ignore her. She was my mother, after all. With a sigh, I dialed her number. The phone rang several times before she answered. "Emma, is that really you?" Her voice was brittle, tinged with suspicion. "Yes, Mom, it's me." "I saw you on TV," she said. "All over the news. What have you done?" I braced myself for the onslaught. "I testified against my former employer, Mom. They were involved in illegal activities." "Illegal activities? What kind of illegal activities?" Her voice was laced with disapproval. I hesitated, unsure how much to tell her. "It's complicated, Mom, but they were stealing money, hurting people." "And you exposed them?" "Yes, Mom, I did." There was a long silence on the other end of the line. Then she spoke, her voice softer now. "I always knew you were strong, Emma, stronger than me." Her words surprised me. My mother had never been one for compliments. "What do you mean, Mom?" I asked, confused. "Your father, he wasn't a saint, Emma. He made mistakes. Bad mistakes." My heart pounded in my chest. What was she trying to tell me? "What kind of mistakes, Mom?" He embezzled money from his company, years ago, before he died. I knew about it, but I kept it a secret. I was stunned. My father, the man I had idolized, had been a criminal, and my mother had known about it all along? "Why didn't you tell me, Mom?" I asked, my voice trembling. "I was ashamed, Emma. I didn't want you to know the truth about your father. I wanted you to remember him as a good man." "But he wasn't a good man, Mom. He was a thief." My mother started to cry. "I know, Emma. I know. I'm so sorry." I should have told you the truth a long time ago. I felt a mixture of anger and sadness. Anger at my father for betraying our family, and sadness for my mother, who had carried this secret for so many years. What would you do if you found out your father wasn't who you thought he was? Could you forgive him? Could you forgive your mother for keeping it a secret? The rain started to fall again, a gentle drizzle that turned into a downpour. Chloe pulled out an umbrella, and we huddled together, watching the rain lash against the windows of the nearby buildings. My phone buzzed again. This time, it was an email from an unknown sender. The subject line read, "I know your secret." My blood ran cold. What secret could they possibly know? I had exposed Sterling Dynamics, testified against them in court. What else was there? I clicked on the email, my heart pounding in my chest. The message was short and cryptic. "I know about the money your father hid." My father's money? What money? I knew nothing about any hidden money. Was this some kind of sick joke? Or was it real? Had my father hidden a fortune somewhere? A fortune that I knew nothing about? The thought was both exciting and terrifying. I forwarded the email to David, asking him to trace the sender. He called me back a few hours later, his voice grim. "The email was sent from a burner account, Emma. It's untraceable." "So, you can't find out who sent it?" "Not yet, but I'm working on it. In the meantime, be careful. Someone knows more than they should." I hung up the phone, feeling a sense of dread. Someone knew about my father's secrets. And they wanted something. Was it money, revenge, or something else entirely? I started to investigate my father's past, poring over old documents, bank statements, anything that could shed light on his hidden life. I discovered that he had made several large deposits into offshore accounts in the years before his death. The amounts were staggering, millions of dollars. My father had been a wealthy man, a secret that he had taken to the grave. Where was that money now? Was it still hidden somewhere, or had someone else found it? I hired a private investigator to track down the money. He spent months following leads, traveling to exotic locations, interviewing people who had known my father. A hidden bank account in the Cayman Islands. The account contained a substantial amount of money, several $1,000,000. It was my father's secret fortune. I was the sole beneficiary. What would you do with that money? Would you keep it for yourself? Or would you donate it to charity? Would you use it to right the wrongs your father had committed? I decided to visit the Cayman Islands,